The 18th annual Capital Link Invest in Greece Forum took place in New York City. This year's forum accounted for the attendance of 1,300 delegates, which offered informational, marketing, and network opportunities. 85 distinguished speakers and executives from the entire spectrum of financial, investment, and business communities, such as U.S. institutional investors, investment and commercial banks, analysts, portfolio managers, financial advisors, brokers, and companies doing business in Greece, as well as international and Greek media partners, participated in the forum.
We are very happy with today's forum. It is the 18th year in a row that we organize this amazing event, and we're delighted to see, first of all, the huge turnout. It's a record turnout. We have about 1,300 people who signed up to attend the forum throughout the day. But above all, we are very happy to see the quality of the attendees, and we're very happy to see the quality of the presenters.
Representing the Greek government were Minister of Economy and Development Dimitrios Papadimitriou, alternate Minister of Economy and Development Alexis Haritsis, Secretary General of the General Secretariat for Public Revenue George Pitsilis, Minister of Environment and Energy George Stathakis, and Minister of Tourism Elena Koudoura. Alternate Minister of Finance George Chouliarakis participated via webcast.
I think that there are a number of positive statistical evidence that shows that Greece has turned the corner. We are in a growth pattern. I think we would most likely end the year in a positive trend as opposed to previous years. And I think we're very optimistic for next year's growth at a 2.7%, which is what has come from the European Commission, as well from our own projections.
Nowadays, I think there is a broad understanding that investment opportunities are there. The economy will have a sustainable growth path, and the successful implementation of the program provides a guarantee for the return to a high rate of growth.
What we did here at Capital Link, we presented the different financial tools that we have created as Greek government in collaboration with international financial institutions like EIB and EBRD and DIF. And we are hoping that the Greek economy, the Greek business enterprises, but also foreign investors will benefit from all these new innovative financial tools.
As regards what we do in the tax administration, our major challenge is through the transition to an independent authority to build a new relationship of credibility and trust with the taxpayers that will help us increase our performance and be more efficient in collection of public revenue.
Economy is in a path of growth and development, and there are a lot of opportunities for investment in Greece, especially in the tourist sector. I'm very happy that 2015 and 2016 we had historical records of arrivals at the same time of revenue, and 2017 seems to be even better.
We have very senior members of the Greek government, the major investors, the major banks, the international institutions involved with Greece. So this is truly an international forum about Greece.
Greece's Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras addressed the delegates of the forum via a televised message and called investors to trust in Greece.
It has been almost a year since the last time I had the opportunity to present you the prospects of the Greek economy. I remember urging you to believe in our efforts to restart our economy and invest in Greece. I'm sure that those of you who did so haven't regretted it, because in 2016, our economy regained its positive growth dynamics, outperformed fiscal targets, and applied a series of deep structural reforms that enhanced its competitiveness and promote a stable and investment-friendly environment.
The markets also have a positive assessment of the economy going forward. Today, the 10-year government bond yield stood at 6.6%, still prohibitive for accessing the world markets, but significantly lower than even 6 months ago, where they were standing at 9.5 to 10%.
We think that this new business environment will give the opportunity to businesses and investors to create more businesses in Greece and reverse the disinvestment trend that was very evident in the Greek economy the last 6 or 7 years.
This year, the conference featured developments and reforms in the Greek economy and the Greek government program for economy and investments. The conference was attended by Senior Desk Officer of the U.S. Department of Commerce, Ryan Barnes, to strengthen the bilateral economic and trade relations between the two countries.
U.S. companies face a myriad of challenges in the market, including capital controls, public procurement, intellectual property rights, government arrears, and so it's important to resolve those issues, but it's also critical to treat investors that are already there well. These companies speak to each other, and so if they have a bad experience in Greece, that will deter further investment in the market.
When you deal with an economy like Greece, where you have structural reform, you can do something on taxes and hopefully broaden the tax base and things like that, drive up revenues and try to reduce long-term deficits. That's all great. You have near-term things that politicians can get behind and try to make happen. What's interesting is on the other side is something much less attractive for politicians in the near term, which is dealing with that potential growth.
The luncheon keynote speaker was Honorable George Stathakis, Minister of Environment and Energy of the Hellenic Republic, who stated that the Greek economy offers important investment opportunities, exploiting important comparative advantages such as human capital and geopolitical positioning.
In the first 11 months of 2016, net tax revenues are 5.8% higher than the adopted target, while the primary surplus is expected to be 1.1% of GDP compared to a target of 0.5. There is definite indication that the Greek economy is in a turning point, that the economy has been stabilized in terms of fiscal stability and financial stability. And for the first time, the second semester of 2016, there is a growth rate registered, which is very important.
Greek lawyer Virginia Murray hosted a lively roundtable between prominent Greek-American investors that included John Kalamos, John Katzimatidis, and Michael Psaros, who explained what they needed to be able to proceed in investing in Greece.
It seems that a lot of the regulations and the opportunities in Greece and from the government point of view seem to be improving a bit. So that was one of the takeaways from the meeting here.
There's certain things that we have to straighten out. Future taxation provisions, employment provisions. Everybody, we all want to invest, but that element kind of create a situation where it's going to be a banana peel.
Greece needs a pro-business government, a government that understands that capital is allocated where it can achieve the best return. I also think that Greece needs to default on its debt and refloat the drachma. There is no way that the Greek people can repay over 320 billion euro of χρέος. It is just not going to happen.
Theodore Fessas and Anastasios Kalitsantzis, leading Greek businessmen, discussed how they were continuing to invest in Greece and make profitable deals.
Once we proceed with the structural reforms to the final step, so that they are part of everyday life of the state, this will become really much more interesting.
Investor opportunities in Greece, I believe, today are in a very optimistic stage, as most of the political parties realize that pro-business environment is important in order to attract investment.
On one hand, we see optimism that the economy is going to turn around. On the other hand, we see caution. Investors are waiting to see that things will keep on track and then I think foreign investment will come in.
Minister of Tourism Elena Kudura, besides her participation in the panel discussion Investment Opportunities in Tourism and Hospitality, also hosted private meetings with representatives from the educational institutes, the Jewish community, the tour operators, and film industry to discuss ways of collaboration.
We're here to help with the projects to go through as we pursue to further increase international arrivals at an average rate between 5 and 10% on a yearly base. Tourism is the bridge that can bring other kind of investments, that is in agriculture, trade, and energy. We're very happy that there is so much demand. We're here to invite also the American investors to come to Greece. I think there are a lot of opportunities that can be win-win for everybody.
The New York Stock Exchange held an official reception in honor of the Greek delegation, Greek companies listed on the New York Stock Exchange, and companies that participated in the forum. Minister George Stathakis rang the opening bell, starting the trade session. The event was broadcasted live on major news stations in the United States and abroad to an audience of millions of viewers worldwide.